Jeffrey Epstein died under mysterious circumstances. Millions still demand answers. So when Senator John Kennedy faced FBI Director Kash Patel, he cut straight to the question that's haunted America for years. Did someone kill Epstein?
Mr. Director, worry not. We'll make sure your agency is adequately funded. This judge you arrested in Wisconsin, she was breaking federal law, wasn't she?
Yes, that's why we arrested her.
She was helping an illegal immigrant escape being taken into custody. Is that right?
Yes, and the field agents decided to open the case, work the case.
And as Americans, do we get to pick and choose which laws we want to follow?
We do not.
If you're a state court judge, do you get to decide you don't want to follow federal law? No. And if you violate federal law, you get arrested, don't you?
Yes, Senator.
That's called equal treatment under the law, isn't it?
Yes, Senator.
You remember Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, don't you?
Yes, Senator.
Mr. Strzok worked for the FBI. Mr. Strzok worked for the FBI. I think Ms. Page worked for Justice. The Inspector General found in its investigation that they hated President Trump and they really wanted Secretary Clinton to win. Is that true?
That's correct, sir.
And this would be the same same Ms. Page who sent an email to Mr. Strzok with whom she was having an affair. Trump's not ever going to become president, right? Right? And Mr. Strzok with the FBI, senior official at the FBI, replied, quote, no, he won't. We'll stop it. Did I read that correctly?
You did, Senator.
Okay. Now, Ms. Page got quit before she could get fired. Mr. Strzok was fired. And predictably, they filed a lawsuit because in Washington, it's easier to divorce your spouse than it is to fire a federal employee. Why did the FBI give Mr. Strzok $1.2 million and Ms. Page $800,000 to settle a lawsuit?
Senator, I do not know that settlement was reached in the prior administration.
Who made the decision?
The prior Department of Justice.
Who in the prior Department of Justice?
The settlement for that kind of case can only come from the Attorney General, which would be Attorney General Merrick Garland.
So the Attorney General decided to give Mr. Strzok $1.2 million and Ms. Page $800,000 after they were fired after actively interfering in the 2016 election. Is that right?
My understanding is that was a settlement they agreed to.
Pass me the sick bucket, please. The Hunter Biden laptop. In October of 2016, shortly before the election, the New York Post wrote a story that was widely covered talking about Mr. Hunter Biden's influence peddling scheme based on his laptop. A couple of weeks later, Secretary of State, soon to be Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, organized a group of 51 so-called intelligence experts. Had some real rock stars on the list. Jim Clapper, John Brennan, Michael Hayden, Leon Panetta, and they said, oh, no, the story in the New York Post is not true. It's based on Russian disinformation. You remember that?
I do, Senator, as the lead investigator for Russiagate for the House Intel Committee.
Yeah. The FBI had the laptop for 10 months, hadn't they?
They did, Senator.
So the FBI knew right before the election that it wasn't Russian disinformation, didn't they?
And that was confirmed by the Inspector General's report.
Yeah. Who at the FBI refused to let the FBI tell the American people the truth?
I don't have that name in front of me, sir.
Well, would you look?
I will, sir.
I'd like to know. I'd like a name, not a division. I'd like the name. Person with a brain and a beating heart.
Yes, sir.
Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he hung himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Are you going to release all the information about that?
Senator, we are working through that right now with the Department of Justice.
When do you think you'll have it done, Kash?
I think in the near future, sir.
Like before I die?
Senator, we've been working on that, and we're doing it in a way that protects victims and also doesn't put out into the ether information that is irrelevant for production of the public, such as CSAM.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Reid.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Director. As you're well aware, DOJ.
Senator John Kennedy doesn't waste words, and in this hearing, he comes loaded with the kind of questions the media won't touch. He zeroes in on the one name that still sends shockwaves across America, Jeffrey Epstein. The question Kennedy asks is the same one millions of Americans still ask. Did Epstein really hang himself, or was he silenced? Kash Patel, the newly appointed FBI director under the Trump administration, gives the official answer. Epstein died by suicide. But even he admits the full details still haven't been released. Why not? Kennedy's frustration is palpable. Will we get the truth before I die? That line speaks for a lot of people watching today. For years, both political parties and powerful institutions have kicked the can down the road on Epstein. The cameras failed, the guards fell asleep, the logs disappeared. The inmate with high-profile connections, dead, just like that. And yet we still don't have answers. Kennedy wants names. He wants accountability. And Patel, who wasn't in charge at the time, dodges just enough to keep things murky. But this hearing wasn't just about Epstein. What Kennedy's really exposing is a larger culture of secrecy, corruption, and two-tiered justice. He brings up Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, two senior officials caught sending texts that revealed open bias against Donald Trump during a major federal investigation. Strzok even promised they would stop Trump from becoming president. Kennedy asks a simple question. Why were they paid over $2 million in taxpayer money after being fired for misconduct? Patel admits the decision was made under the prior Department of Justice, but once again, we don't get names. No one's held accountable. Kennedy presses harder. He brings up Hunter Biden's laptop and the now infamous letter signed by 51 intelligence officials who claimed it was Russian disinformation. The FBI already had the laptop. They knew it was real, yet they said nothing. Why? Who made that decision? Kash Patel can't or won't say. This isn't about partisan warfare. It's about basic fairness. If a judge breaks the law, she gets arrested. Patel makes that clear. So why aren't senior officials held to the same standard? Kennedy is exposing something bigger, a system that protects the powerful, punishes the whistleblowers, and leaves the American people in the dark. You don't have to agree with Senator Kennedy to understand the importance of what he's doing here. He's demanding transparency in a time when public trust is at an all-time low. And he's doing what Congress should have done years ago, put the pressure where it belongs, at the top. Because when powerful people can die mysteriously in federal custody, when politically biased officials walk away with million-dollar checks, when entire narratives are shaped by intel agencies days before an election, that's not democracy. That's manipulation. So the question isn't just who killed Epstein. The question is, can we still trust the people who claim to serve us? If you believe the American people deserve the full truth, not filtered spin or sealed files, hit that like button and subscribe for more raw, unfiltered coverage they don't want you to see. And let us know in the comments, do you think Epstein's death was really a suicide, or are we still being lied to?